Welcome to an episode of Nobody Asked, in which I answer questions that nobody asked me about my book, Astrid Falls, A Legend of Vancouver. So, why is your book set in 2009? That's 15 years after the publication date. That seems pretty gosh darn arbitrary to me. Why 2009? Well, thanks for asking, nobody. The book is set in 2009 because a book about space and time should sit in a particular place in space and time. If I set it in a nebulous present, that would only serve to detach it from history. No, a definite year. Things happened before it, things happened after it, and although I completed the book in 2024, I started writing it in 2013 after I had a couple years perspective on the year I was writing about. I was about Astrid's age in 2009, in my early 20s, and I went through a lot of the same stuff she did. I was just out of school. I was working a minimum wage job in the middle of a recession. I was anxious about the future, anxious about making the wrong decisions at that very pivotal point in life. And so I know a lot about what it's like to be that specific age at that specific time, a time after the advent of social media, but before the social justice movements of the 2010s. So like the broader public, I didn't know about the residential schools, or the Japanese internment camps, or the destruction of Hogan's Alley, or the Komagata Maru incident. And so Astrid is allowed to plausibly discover these things as she moves through the story. Now, I specifically set the book in the September of 2009 because September is the beginning of a new school year, and there are several new years throughout the book, including the Lunar New Year and Vaisakhi and Christmas. These are all events that sit on the cusp of new eras. They're all new beginnings, all echoing Astrid's coming of age into a new part of life, into her adulthood. Now, I did fudge a couple of things about the year 2009. For instance, the Pantages Theater here in the book, it's slated to be demolished immediately, but it was actually pulled down in the year 2011. There also wasn't a heat wave at that time. It did get up to 27 degrees Celsius on the 23rd, but otherwise late September was pretty temperate. Oh, one of my favorite things about setting the book in 2009 is that it ties together themes of stars and fate in the book. So 2009 is the year of the ox in the Chinese zodiac, and there is a constellation in Western astronomy called the Ox Driver in ancient Greek. It's called Boötes, and that's that's a photo of Vice Admiral George Fowler Hastings of the Royal Navy. My mistake. No, this is Boötes. This is Boötes. That's a constellation right there, and that star that's circled, that's Arcturus. That's the brightest star in the northern hemisphere. And there are three major characters in my book named after that star in three different cultural traditions. Did I go too deep with this? Probably. But then again, nobody asked!